Welcome you all in this session of the heat transfer. In this lecture, we will derive the generalized heat conduction equation in cylindrical coordinates. In last lecture, we discussed about the heat conduction equation in rectangular coordinates. The rectangular coordinate equation becomes important when we discuss heat transfer into the slabs or walls, etc. But the generalized heat conduction equation in cylindrical coordinates becomes important for us when we discuss the rate of heat conduction or heat conduction in the cylindrical objects. So whenever we talk about the heat conduction in cylindrical objects, then we need to have an equation or an equation in cylindrical coordinates. Please note this point very carefully. So for solving the problems of cylindrical bodies or cylindrical objects through which the conduction is taking place, we need to have an equation which is known as generalized heat conduction equation in cylindrical coordinates. Before deriving the equation, again I am going to consider the cylindrical coordinate system. Let's discuss a little bit about cylindrical coordinate system. For that I am having a separate diagram. Please note. This is the cylindrical coordinate system. This is the cylindrical coordinate system. These are the directions x, y and z directions are there. This z direction is along the longitudinal axis of the cylinder. This z direction is along the longitudinal axis of the cylinder. So if you want to specify the coordinates of a point, or if you want to specify the location of a point in cylindrical coordinate system, then you need to define that point in terms of its radius from this longitudinal axis, the radius or distance of the point from the longitudinal axis, which is known as radius. Please note, if you want to specify the location of a point in cylindrical coordinate system, then this location is specified in terms of its radius, that is the radial distance from this longitudinal axis. The point P is located at a radial distance r, from the longitudinal axis. Axis से r distance के ऊपर point P है. Okay, now you need to specify this angle in the base, from this x-axis. The angle in the base is phi, and this phi angle is known as azimuthal angle or azimuth angle simply. So you need to specify this phi, this radial distance r, and also the height from the base, which is known as z. Please note, 3 points are required to specify the location of point P. First of all, it's a radial location, that is its distance from this longitudinal axis, this radial distance. Its angle into the base, at what angle it is there, this angle phi, which is known as azimuth angle, and its height from the base. Base में कितना angle है, and then its height from the base, at what height it is actually there inside the cylinder. So this point, the coordinates of point can be specified in terms of its radius, azimuth angle and height z, which is along the longitudinal axis, z. So if we talk about the cylindrical coordinate system, we need to have three different directions. One is along this radius. Along radius is known as radial direction. Another direction is along this phi, which is known as circumferential or azimuthal direction. This is phi, circumferential direction, which is known as azimuthal direction. And another one is z direction, which is known as linear or axial direction. Please note. So there is a difference between the cylindrical and rectangular coordinate system. In rectangular coordinate system, we have three different axes, x, y and z, and along three different axes we define the point P in terms of its distance from x, y and z axis respectively, and the coordinates of point P were x, y, z. But over here the P is defined by its radial distance from the longitudinal axis, its angle from this axis x in the base, which is known as azimuth angle, and its linear distance from the base along z axis, which is z. So we need three different directions: radial, circumferential, linear or axial direction. Now let us consider. Now please note, आप ये diagram बनाएं. You just try to draw this diagram. Please practice drawing this diagram. Now let's note. Now we will define a cylindrical element. We will consider, likewise in the previous lecture we considered a rectangular element. In this case we will consider a cylindrical volume element. Then how the cylindrical volume element is actually considered, please note this point. For this, please see the diagram. The beautiful diagram is there. To define a cylindrical element, I have cut out within the cylinder, from the cylinder I have simply taken out a cylindrical volume element outside. This cylindrical volume element has been taken out. How this has been taken out, please note. This is the cylindrical element. Here in this small diagram, you can find out this angle is the 5. This angle is the 5 which is there in the base. This angle is 5. Small element, this small angle is 5. This radial distance is r. This radial distance is r. This radial distance is r. This angle is 5 and this height is z. You can say like that, this height dz, I will if element is there, I will talk about its height dz. So this is the element defined within a cylinder. I will isolating this element. I am taking this small cylindrical element out of this large cylinder. So this small cylindrical element has been taken out. Now you need to consider, please note over here, this is the radial. I have taken a cylindrical element at a radial location r of thickness dr. So this element has been considered at a radial distance r of thickness dr. The thickness of the element is dr. The height of the element is dz. I have drawn the exaggerated view of this cylindrical element. This height of the element is dz. This angle is phi. If you will extend these directions, then this angle will be this angle. If you will extend this, then you will find this angle is phi. Sorry, d phi. Placing in a small elementary angle d phi. So this angle is d phi, therefore this radial distance would be, or this distance would be r d phi. Please note, I am drawing an exaggerated view of this small element. This small element is subtending an angle d phi at the longitudinal axis in the base. So this small angle is d phi. This height of the element is dz. The radial distance or the radial distance at which this element has been considered is r. The thickness of the element is dr. Now I have drawn an exaggerated view of this element. Now this is your radial direction. This will be your radial direction. This is radial direction. Along the radius is the radial direction. This along phi is the azimuthal direction. This direction along phi, along the circumference. This direction, please note in the element, this direction is phi direction or azimuthal direction, and another one is this is the axial or linear direction. This is the axial or linear direction. So we need to talk about the three different directions, that is radial direction, circumferential direction and linear or axial direction. I think geometry of the element is clear to you. This is the geometry of this element. If you note over here, the volume of the element now would become, since this angle is d phi, radius is r, so this dimension will be r d phi. This height would be dz and this thickness will be dr. So the volume of the element would become r d phi dz dr. This would be the volume of the element. Please note, it is very simple. I have defined an element. I have marked the dimensions of the element. Let the height of the element is dz, the thickness of the element is dr, and this distance you can calculate. Since this angle is d phi, this radius is r d phi, this distance. So the volume will be r d phi dz multiplied by dr. R d phi dr dz would be the volume of the element. Now we have to see the heat interactions of this element with its surroundings along all the three directions, that is radial direction, this phi direction and this z direction or axial direction. Now let us start deriving the equation. Please note. So let us consider heat interactions. If I am going to write an energy balance equation for this element, if you write the energy balance equation for the element, please note, energy balance for the element, energy balance for the element. So let's write the energy balance for the element. Energy balance for the element will give us that the rate with which the energy is entering into the element, Q in, minus the rate with which the energy is leaving the element, Q out, plus the rate with which energy is generated within the element, is equals to rate of change of energy content of the element, or rate of change of energy content of the element. I think if you see the last lecture, you will be able to understand this equation. Very easy. Whatever the energy is coming in minus the energy going out of the element plus the rate with which the heat is generated within the element, the algebraic sum of all these three quantities must be equal to the rate with which the energy content of the element is changing, rate of change of energy content of the element. Please note again, this small t stands for time. So the energy balance equation for the element can be written like this. Now we will consider, now let me note what is Q in. Q in is the heat entering into the element in radial direction is Q dot R, plus the rate with which heat is entering in the phi direction is Q phi, and the rate with which heat is entering in z direction is Qz. This is the total heat, the rate with which heat is entering into the control volume. This is the rate with which the heat is entering the control volume, volume element, minus what is the heat going out of the element. In radial direction it is Qr plus dr, in phi direction it is Q phi plus d phi, and in z direction it is Qz plus dz. Okay, clear to everyone? Now the heat generated, let heat generated is Q dot G again, is equals to del E of the element upon del T. So this is our equation number 1. This equation, sorry, let's not give this equation as equation 1. Let's simplify first this equation. This equation can be written as this QR. Let's QR. Q dot R minus Q R plus dr plus Q phi minus Q phi plus d phi plus Qz minus Q z plus dz plus Q dot z is equals to del E of the element by del T. Now this equation can be written as equation 1. Now I simply need to derive the expressions, or I need to simply write the expressions for this QR and QR plus dr, Q phi and Q phi plus d phi. Now I will calculate each of the term separately. This is simply energy balance for the element. Now let's consider this QR, Q dot R. Let me take radial direction. Okay. The QR can be written as from Fourier's law of heat conduction as minus KR. Sorry, this is QR can be written as minus KR, where KR is the thermal conductivity in radial direction, multiply by area del T by del R. Please note. Now minus KR, area. What area you have to take in this case? Now you have to take the area perpendicular to radial direction. Area perpendicular to radial direction is the area of this face only. Please note, this area you have to take, because the area of the element which is perpendicular to the direction, perpendicular to the radial direction, perpendicular to the direction of heat transfer is the area of this face only. And this area would be R d phi multiplied by dz. Please note this point very carefully. You need to take this area R d phi and dz. So this whole area you need to take in case of radial direction, because in Ka dt upon dr you have to take the area perpendicular to the direction of heat transfer. So this area of this face would be the perpendicular to the direction of heat transfer. So area would be R d phi multiplied by dz. So R d phi multiplied by dz del T upon del R. Okay, now you can write expression for QR plus dr. QR plus dr is given by, first of all, Taylor series expansion, QR plus del upon del R of QR to dr. Very easy. So first write the values. Put the value of QR minus KR R d phi dz del T upon del R plus del upon del R of this whole QR minus KR R d phi dz del T upon del R multiplied by dr. Now subtract this equation from this equation. Subtract this QR plus dr from Q dot R, so that we will have this value. So QR minus QR plus dr can be written as this term will get cancelled out. This term will get cancelled out, and this would become now del upon del R of KR R d phi dz del T upon del R multiply by dr. Clear? Also, one more point you can observe over here. This r would be there inside the integration. This d phi dz can be taken out. It would be del upon del r kr multiply by r del t upon del r, and this dr, d phi and dz can be taken out. This is your qr minus qr plus dr. It is equation A. I think very easy. It is simple for you. Now let us consider another direction, phi direction. Let's consider the case of phi direction. We will take care of phi direction. Phi direction or circumferential direction or azimuthal direction, whatever you want to say. I am simply writing phi direction so that you will be able to understand that I am talking about the circumferential direction, the heat transfer into the circumferential direction. So first of all, q phi can be written as minus k phi, thermal conductivity in phi direction, into some area. What is the area perpendicular to phi direction? This face, this area. Now you need to take this area, this area. Please take this area perpendicular to phi direction, which is, this is dr and this is dz. So area will be dr dz. Now up ka del t upon, now you will consider this distance r d phi, r del phi. Very easy. Minus ka del t upon del x. In the same manner, minus k phi, area is dr dz, this is dr, this is dz. So area is dr dz, and along phi direction the distance is r del phi. So del t upon r del phi, Clear to everyone? Now let's see q phi plus d phi. Simple formula from Taylor series expression as q phi plus del upon del phi of q phi d phi. Simply let me write from Taylor series expression. Now it can be written as q phi plus d phi is equals to q phi, let me put the values, q phi dr dz del t upon r del phi, this expression, plus del upon del phi. Value of q phi is again from the above equation, dr dz del t upon r del phi by d phi. Simple. I have simply put down the value of this q phi over here. Now we need to write q phi minus q phi plus d phi. Now I need to subtract this equation from this equation. So this term gets cancelled out and this term remains as del upon del phi k phi dr dz del t upon r del phi d phi. Okay, now what can be taken out from this integration? This q phi minus q phi plus d phi can be written equals to k phi would be remain inside, dr dz can be taken out, over here. So this is del upon del phi, k phi would be inside, del t upon del phi would be inside. You can take out dr dz, d phi is already there, and this small r is also can be taken outside because r is not a function of phi. So this r also can be taken out. Clear? So this is equation B. Simply, now let us consider the z direction. Heat transfer along linear or axial direction. In z direction, qz can be written as qz is equals to minus kz, area perpendicular to z direction. What is the area perpendicular to z direction? The area perpendicular to z direction is, please note, the area of this face. Now you have to take this area would be r d phi multiplied by dr. What is the area perpendicular to z direction? This r d phi multiplied by dr. So the area would be r d phi multiply by dr. Okay, and then del T upon this del Z, del T upon del Z. This is dz, so del T upon del Z minus kz area del T upon del Z. Now you can write qz plus dz as qz plus del upon del Z of qz multiply by dz. First of all, you just learn to write this equation. This is from Taylor series expansion. You have already learned in the previous classes. And now qz plus dz can be written as minus kz r d phi dr del T upon del Z, this value, then del upon del Z of this qz. Qz is minus kz r d phi dr del T upon del Z, and this is dz. Now again I need to subtract qz plus dz from qz. So qz minus qz plus dz would be equal to, this term will get cancelled out and this term will become positive quantity. Okay, so it would be del upon del Z kz r d phi dr del T upon del Z multiply by dz. Okay, I think clear to you. Now what can be taken out of the integration? Qz minus qz plus dz is equals to del upon del Z. Kz will remain inside because kz is a function of z. R d phi dr can be taken out. Del T upon del Z is there. R d phi dr. R d phi and dr has been taken out. And this is dz. This already dr. R d phi dr has been taken out. Equation number C. Clear to everyone? Okay, let's discuss further. Now let q dot g, what we considered in the previous case, similarly I am considering, let q dot g indicate rate of heat generation per unit volume, rate of heat generation per unit volume inside the element, rate of heat generation per unit volume inside the element, rate of heat generation per unit volume inside the element. Therefore the q dot g, the actual rate of heat generation can be written as q dot g multiplied by volume of the element. Okay, this is the rate of heat generation per unit volume. Then what will be the rate of heat generation? Rate of heat generation would be rate of heat generation per unit volume multiplied by volume. So q dot g multiplied by volume is r d phi dr dz. This is q dot z, or simply q dot generation, whatever you want to write. We have written q dot g. Okay, and then what is del E of element upon del T? Del E of element upon del T can be written as del upon del T. The expression for E is mCt, mass, specific heat and temperature, which can be further written as del upon del T. The mass is density into volume of the element, Ct, which can further be written as del upon del T. I am taking, sorry, rho dV out, rho dV and C out, so it becomes del T, and rho dV and C has been taken out as they are constants. So the equation would be rho, what is the value of dV? R d phi dz dr. This is the value of V. Rho is there, sorry, rho has been written, C is there, and del T upon del T. This is the del E of the element upon del T. Please again let us consider this del upon del T of mCt. M is the mass of the element, C is the specific heat of the element, T is the temperature. So M mass can be written as density into volume. Now this rho dV and C has been taken out as they are not the functions of time. So this rho dV and C has been taken out. Rho dV C has been taken out of the integration. Only T remains there. So it becomes del T upon del T, rate of change of temperature with respect to time. Density of the element is rho. Volume is R d phi dz dr. We have already written the expression for the volume. R d phi dz dr. Specific heat capacity and del T upon T. Now we have this equation as equation D and this equation as equation E. Now we will club all these 5 equations with equation first. This was the equation number 1 we have already discussed. So this will come from equation A, this from B, this from C, D and E. We will club all the 5 equations into equation first, so that equation now 1 becomes. Therefore, equation 1 becomes, it will be a very lengthy equation. Please note, I have to first put the value of QR minus QR plus DR, which is equal to, let's see, this is there, QR minus QR plus DR is, please note, write del upon del R, KR, R del T upon del R, dr, d phi and dz. Likewise, the values of phi, this is the value of phi, let me write, plus in phi direction it was del upon del phi, k phi, del T upon del phi and dr, dz, d phi upon R, plus qz minus qz plus dz was del upon del z, kz, del T upon del z, R, d phi, dr, dz, plus rate of heat generation. We have written rate of heat generation over here, q dot g multiply by R, dr, d phi, dz, volume of the element, must be equal to rate of heat, this del E of element upon del T, which is rho R d phi dr dz multiply by C multiply by del T. Okay, now I need to simplify this equation. So what I will do, I will again do the same thing. I have to write the expressions for the volume. I will take out the volume term from each of the term. So what I am doing, please note, I will write this as del upon del R, KR is already inside, R is already inside, del T upon del R. Okay, now this term is dr, d phi, dz. If this term is multiplied by R and divided by R, if this term is dr, d phi, dz, this term has been multiplied by R and has also been divided by R. Okay, so that this term will become volume. This term will become volume. Okay, what I am doing over here, del upon del phi, please note, k phi, del T upon del phi. Now over here, I need to have R, dr, dz, d phi. Again, I am dividing and multiplying by R. Dr, dz, d phi. Let me multiply by R over here and divided by R. One R is already there. Okay, so that this above term becomes volume, plus del upon del z, kz, del T upon del z. This term is already volume, nothing to do. R d phi dr dz is already volume, plus q dot g R dr d phi dz, this is already volume, this term is already volume, is equals to rho R d phi dr dz C del T by del T. I think it is clear to everyone. Clear. Now we can cancel the volume term from each of the, since the volume of the element is constant, so the volume term can be cancelled out from each of the, cancelling out dr, d phi, dz, R from each of the term. So what the equation can be written as now? Let me write on a separate paper. Okay, let us continue on this paper only. So this would be 1 by R del upon del R. This R has been over there, multiply KR R del T upon del R. This volume term has been cancelled out from each of the term, plus 1 upon R square del upon del phi, k phi del T upon del phi. ओके, एक एक टर्म देखते चलिए डियर. नाउ डेल अपॉन डेल जेड, के जेड डेल टी अपॉन डेल जेड. This term has been cancelled out, volume term, plus Q dot G is equals to, volume has been cancelled out, rho C del T upon del T. Clear to everyone? Is it clear to everyone? Now we will simplify this equation. Let me write this equation again on the next page. Please write this equation, rewriting the equation above equation. I'm rewriting the above equation, sorry. So it would be 1 by R, 1 by R del upon del R kr r del T upon del R plus 1 upon R square del upon del phi k phi del T upon del phi plus del upon del Z of kz del T upon del Z plus Q dot G is equals to rho C del T upon del T. Okay, so this is the generalized heat conduction equation. This equation is the generalized heat conduction equation. Now I will simplify this equation using certain approximations. The first approximation is, let the material is thermally isotropic. Let the material is thermally isotropic. Let the material is thermally isotropic. If the material is thermally isotropic, then the thermal conductivity in each of the direction would be same, equal to K. So the equation would become 1 by R del upon del R K R del T upon del R plus 1 upon R square del upon del phi K phi del T upon del phi plus del upon del Z K del T upon del Z. This equation Kr, K phi and Kz are equal to K plus Q dot G is equals to rho C del T upon del T. Now another expression, let K is constant, let thermal conductivity is constant. It is not the function of space either, or it is not the function of temperature. So this K can be taken out of the integration. So the equation would be, I am taking K out of the equation and dividing the whole equation by K. So this equation can be written as 1 by R del upon del R R del T upon del R plus 1 upon R square del upon del phi. This del square T you can write del square T upon del phi square simply, because K has been taken out of the integration. Since K is constant, the K has been taken out of the integration. So it would become del square T upon del phi square. Sorry, I have written over here. Sorry, the K phi was written equal to K now. So this K has been taken out. So the equation would become K has been taken out del square T upon del phi square plus again K has been taken out. What we will have over here, del square T upon del Z square plus the whole equation has been divided by K as well. So it would be Q dot G by K equals to rho C by K. एक स्टेप खा गया हूं मैं, है ना, तो नो प्रॉब्लम, आई हैव ईटन अप वन स्टेप. सो नाउ द फर्दर इक्वेशन, दिस सिंस alpha thermal diffusivity is K upon rho C. K upon rho C is known as the thermal diffusivity alpha. So the equation would become 1 by R del upon del R or del T upon del R plus 1 upon R square del square T upon del phi square del square T upon del Z square plus Q dot G by K is equals to 1 upon alpha del T upon del T. This is your generalized heat conduction equation using certain approximations. Actually, you need to remember this equation. This is the most generalized form of the equation. However, we have made certain approximations to reduce this equation into this form. So what are the two approximations we used? We considered the material to be thermally isotropic so that the thermal conductivity in each of the direction is same, is equals to K. And also I have taken K as constant so that K has been taken out of the integration and the whole equation has been divided by the K. So this is your generalized heat conduction equation in cylindrical coordinates. Okay. This is generalized heat conduction equation in cylindrical coordinates. Okay, thank you. In the next lecture, we will derive expression for generalized heat conduction equation in spherical coordinates. Thank you.